At my graduation dinner everyone was laughing, until Grandma smiled at me and said, "I'm glad the 3,000 I send you each month is helping." I paused, looked around and said, "Never got any money." Everyone slowly turned to look at my parents, who were dead silent. Grandma set her plate down and then it began. Prat 5. Her eyes were rimmed with red, her usual perfect appearance slightly disheveled. I realized with a pang that she'd been up all night too, dealing with her own sense of betrayal. "I trusted them," she said quietly. "I trusted them with your well-being." But the waitress came for our order, but neither of us had much appetite. We both requested just coffee. "Have copies of every transfer," Grandma continued, opening the folder. "Monthly payments of $3,000 starting August, before your freshman year. I have emails from your parents thanking me, telling me how the money was helping you focus on your studies, instead of working so many hours." She pushed several printed emails across the table. Reading my father's detailed fabrications about how I was thriving with less financial pressure made my stomach turn. "They sent me updates about you," she continued. "How you were able to join study groups instead of rushing to work, how you were eating better, sleeping more, even considering study abroad options." Each lie was more elaborate than the last. While I'd been working myself to exhaustion, my parents had been crafting a fictional college experience to report to my grandmother. "They even sent me this," she said, sliding a photo across the table. It showed me smiling in front of what appeared to be apartment building. "They said this was your new apartment sophomore year. Made possible by my financial help," Grandma explained. "They said you had a nice place with just one roommate instead of 4. I stared at the photo. This isn't an apartment I've ever lived in. This picture was taken when we visited Tyler at his dorm. They cropped him out. The deliberate nature of their deception was staggering. This wasn't opportunistic. It was calculated and sustained over years. My phone buzzed with yet another text from my mother. "We need to talk as a family. Please come home." I silenced it without responding. "What do we do now?" I asked Grandma. "That depends on what you want," she replied carefully. "What they've done is wrong on multiple levels, morally and legally. Taking money under false pretenses, opening fraudulent loans in your name. These are serious matters." Before I could respond, the cafe door opened and Aunt Jessica walked in with a professional-looking woman I didn't recognize. "Hope you don't mind the company," Aunt Jessica said, sliding into the booth beside me. "This is Vivian Parker. She's a friend and a financial crimes attorney." "I'm not sure if I want to pursue legal action," I said hesitantly. "Just information for now," Vivian assured me. "No decisions needed today." Over the next hour, Vivian explained my options in clear terms. The loans taken out in my name constituted identity theft and fraud. The misappropriation of funds from Grandma could potentially be prosecuted as elder financial abuse, given that she was over 65 when the arrangement began. Best case scenario, Vivian explained, would be full financial restitution without criminal charges. They repay everything, the diverted funds, the fraudulent loans, with interest. And you decide whether to maintain a relationship with them. My phone continued to buzz. Tyler had now sent several messages. "Mom and Dad are freaking out. They say there's more to the story. Please call me at least." I finally responded to my brother. "Meeting with Grandma and Aunt Jessica. We'll call you after." As we wrapped up our meeting, another text came through, this one from my father. "We're prepared to make this right. Please come home so we can talk." Something about his wording bothered me. Not, "We want to apologize," or, "We're sorry for what we did," but, "We're prepared to make this right." As if this were a business negotiation rather than a profound betrayal. I think I need to confront them. I told Grandma and Aunt Jessica. I need to hear whatever explanation they think justifies this. "You don't owe them that," Aunt Jessica said. "I know, but I need it for myself." Grandma nodded understanding. "We'll go with you." "No," I said, finding strength in my voice. "I need to do this myself first. But I'll call if I need backup." And an hour later, I pulled into the driveway of my childhood home. The house I'd grown up in suddenly looked different to me. The recent landscaping, the new front door, the luxury sub in the driveway. How much of this had been paid for with money meant for my education? Both my parents met me at the door, relief evident on their faces. "Madison. Thank goodness," Mom said, attempting to hug me. I stepped back, keeping physical distance between us. "I'm only here to hear what you have to say." "That's it." They exchanged nervous glances as they led me to the living room. I remained standing while they sat on the sofa. "First, we want you to know we love you very much," Dad began. "Love doesn't steal," I replied flatly. "Love doesn't watch someone struggle unnecessarily. It's complicated," Mom said, wringing her hands. "When your grandmother first offered the money, we had every intention of giving it all to you. What changed?" I demanded. They looked at each other again, a silent communication passing between them. "The first year of your college, we had some financial setbacks," Dad explained. "My commission structure changed at work. We had unexpected expenses. We used a little of the money to cover household costs, just temporarily. A little? We meant to replace it," Mom insisted. "But then we got used to the lifestyle, and one thing led to another." "What things, exactly?" I pressed. "What was so important that it justified watching me work myself sick?" The dad sighed heavily. "We took some trips. Made some investments. Helped Tyler with his startup idea. The podcast network." I asked incredulously. The one that lasted all of 3 months before he got bored. That cost enough to justify stealing over 150,000 from me. We didn't think of it as stealing. Mom said defensively. Where are your parents? We thought we were making decisions for the family. What about the loans in my name? I asked. That also a family decision. Their silence was damning. Do you have any idea what you've done to me? My voice shook with emotion. I worked 3 jobs. I got sick from stress. I lost friends because I never had time to socialize. I lived in a moldy basement. I ate ramen for days on end.